Hello, mabuhay! This is Teacher Lourdes, and this is your course, Environmental Science. Our lesson 8 is Biogeochemical Cycles in Ecosystems. The objectives of the lesson are discuss and explain the following: biogeochemical cycles and ecosystems, water cycle, carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, phosphorus cycle, sulfur cycle, and state what you have learned in this lesson. For this video, we will watch YouTube videos from MooMooMath and Science website in youtube.com to explain the following biogeochemical cycles in ecosystem. Let's start.
Welcome to MooMooMath and Science. In this video, we will learn about the water cycle. The water we use today has been around for a long time. That is because water can recycle itself in the water cycle, which is also called the hydrologic cycle. Let's start this cycle with the evaporation of water from the surface of the ocean. As this moist air is lifted, it cools and water vapor condenses. It may form clouds. In fact, clouds are made up of tiny water droplets and ice crystals that are so small they can float in the air. This moisture in the atmosphere may be transported around the globe until it returns to the surface as precipitation. Precipitation may take the form of rain, snow, sleet, or hail. Now, once this water reaches the ground, one or two processes may occur. Some of the water may evaporate back into the atmosphere, or the water may penetrate the surface and become groundwater. The groundwater may take several different paths. The groundwater may seep its way into the oceans, river, or streams. Or it may go into an aquifer, which is a body of saturated rock through which water can easily move. Or it may be released back into the atmosphere through transpiration. Transpiration occurs when leaves from trees and other vegetation give off water vapor through pores in their leaves. Some water on the Earth's surface is not absorbed by plants or become groundwater, and it becomes surface runoff. This runoff may empty into lakes, rivers, and streams, and then is carried back to the ocean where the cycle may begin. So there we go, the basics of the water cycle. Thanks for watching, and MooMooMath uploads a new math and science video every day. Please subscribe and share. Welcome to MooMooMath and Science in the carbon cycle. Carbon is an element that is vital to most living organisms on Earth. It is also a key component of our atmosphere. Carbon has the ability to cycle through our Earth, the ocean, living factors, abiotic factors, and the air. The carbon recycles among 5 major locations. These items include the atmosphere, the terrestrial biosphere or land, the Earth's interior, the ocean, and human influence. Let's take a look at what happens at each of these areas. Carbon is found in the atmosphere in at least 2 forms, carbon dioxide and methane. This atmospheric carbon can be absorbed by autotrophs like plants and plankton to be used for photosynthesis. It can also be absorbed by bodies of water and the ocean. When carbon is absorbed by the ocean, it reacts with the water and creates carbonic acid. The terrestrial biosphere, which is another term for the Earth's land, has several paths of carbon that it can take. First, there is an exchange between plants and animals. Plants absorb carbon in the form of carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, and animals release carbon dioxide during cellular respiration. Also, heterotrophs eat plants that contain carbon. Animals also release carbon as methane during digestion, and the soil contains decomposers that release carbon into the atmosphere and the soil. Carbon is also stored in the Earth's interior. Carbon in the lithosphere includes fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas, along with deposits like limestone. and volcanoes may release some of this carbon stored in the lithosphere when they erupt. Up next, the ocean. The ocean has the greatest exchange quantity of cycled carbon and stores a large amount of carbon. The ocean absorbs carbon in the form of carbon dioxide. The ocean also has a large amount of plankton that absorbs carbon dioxide that it uses for photosynthesis. Humans also influence the movement of carbon. Humans burn fossil fuel, which releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Also, the production of clinker, which is used for cement from limestone, also releases carbon. In addition, deforestation from humans can cause the amount of carbon in the atmosphere to increase. So there you go, an overview of the path of an atom of carbon that may take place during the carbon cycle. Thanks for watching, and MooMooMath uploads a new math and science video every day. Please subscribe and share. Welcome to MooMooMath and Science. In this video, I'd like to talk about the nitrogen cycle. Our atmosphere is made up of 78% nitrogen. We need the nitrogen for our DNA and for proteins, but we just can't breathe in the nitrogen like oxygen, but we must absorb our nitrogen in our food. Nitrogen follows a cycle where it travels from the atmosphere to the soil to animals and back, and in a cycle. Nitrogen in the atmosphere falls to the earth by precipitation, such as rain or snow. Once in the soil, it finds its way to bacteria on the root of plants. At the roots, the nitrogen is combined with hydrogen to make ammonia in a process called nitrogen fixation. Lightning in the atmosphere can also do this. Now, ammonia is toxic, so additional bacteria combines this ammonia with oxygen in a process called nitrification. At this point, the nitrogen is in a form called nitrite. Additional nitrifying bacteria convert this nitrite to nitrate. At this point, plants can absorb this nitrogen in a process called assimilation. However, not all of the nitrate is absorbed, but some of it goes to the bacteria that release the nitrogen to the atmosphere in a process called denitrifying. The nitrogen returns to the atmosphere. Also, once in the animal, after it eats the plants, the animal either dies or needs to get rid of waste. Another type of bacteria then takes this and along with decomposers and breaks this nitrogen either in the waste or the dead animal, and by a process called ammonification, the nitrogen can enter the cycle once again at nitrification, and the cycle continues. I hope that helps with the nitrogen cycle, which is how nitrogen keeps recycling itself. And remember, MooMooMath uploads a new math and science video every day. Please subscribe and share. Welcome to MooMooMath and Science and the phosphorus cycle. Along with the water cycle, the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle, the phosphorus cycle is another biogeochemical cycle that is essential for life on Earth. A biogeochemical cycle is a pathway by which a chemical substance moves through a biotic and the abiotic compartments of Earth. Although phosphorus is not found in the atmosphere, it still plays a very important role in plants and animals on Earth. Phosphorus is essential for plant and animal growth, as well as the health of microbes inhabiting the soil. Phosphorus is very important for the production of DNA and RNA, helps to make up cell membrane, and the production of ATP. The phosphorus cycle is a slow process and involves 4 key steps. Step 1, weathering. Phosphorus is found in rocks. Weathering, along with rain, breaks down the phosphorus in rocks and it travels to the soil and into water sources. Step 2 is absorption by plants and animals. Once in the soil, plants fungi, microorganisms, are able to absorb phosphorus and then grow. Some of it also makes its way to the ocean and fresh water, and animals are able to drink this water and absorb the phosphorus. Plants absorb the water along with the phosphorus, and then the animals eat the plants, and the phosphorus moves into the animal in this way also. Step 3, return to the environment by decomposition. Animals excrete waste, and decomposers are able to use the phosphorus in the waste material. Furthermore, when the plants and animals die, the bacteria convert the organic phosphorus into inorganic phosphorus in a process called mineralization. And then step 4, sediment to rocks. Some of the phosphorus gets buried in sediment, which over time becomes rocks, and the cycle continues. Some of the phosphorus in the soil gets washed to the ocean, where a similar process takes place. Plants and animals in the ocean absorb the phosphorus, die and decompose, and some of the phosphorus ends up as sediments in the rock. Humans have had a significant impact on the phosphorus cycle. Fertilizers containing phosphorus is added to the soil. This helps the plant grow. However, when the levels of phosphorus are too high, the overabundance of plant nutrients serves and drives excessive growth of algae. When these algae die, they can be toxic to the plants and animals in the ecosystem. If you'd like to know more about the phosphorus cycle, this playlist will help. And as always, thanks for watching. And MooMooMath uploads a new math and science video every day. Please welcome to MooMooMath and Science and the sulfur cycle. All living things require sulfur in order to make protein. Let's take a look at how sulfur cycles itself around the Earth. First, sulfur reserves are found in the lithosphere and are released by weathering. In addition, hydrogen sulfide and sulfur dioxide gas is released into the atmosphere by volcanic eruptions, hot springs, and the decay of biological material in swamps and bogs. Marine algae produce dimethyl sulfide that enters the atmosphere as tiny droplets. Sulfur dioxide gas also forms when dimethyl sulfide reacts with oxygen gas. The burning of fossil fuels also releases sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. Sulfur dioxide reacts with oxygen in the atmosphere and creates sulfur trioxide. The sulfur trioxide reacts with water in the atmosphere to produce sulfuric acid. Sulfur trioxide also reacts with the ammonia in the atmosphere to produce sulfate salts. The sulfuric acid and sulfate salts fall to the earth by precipitation like rainfall. The soil absorbs this sulfate salts. Plants then absorb the sulfur by absorbing the sulfate salts from the soil. Animals in turn get sulfur by eating the plants, and the animals release sulfur when they decay. As animals decay, they release sulfate salts and hydrogen sulfide. Anaerobic bacteria breaks down the hydrogen sulfide into sulfur gas, and the aerobic bacteria converts the sulfur into sulfate salts, which again the plants absorb. And then, like any other cycle, it just keeps going around and around. So there's the sulfur cycle. Thanks for watching, and remember, kindness multiplies kindness. Be kind to somebody today. Welcome to MooMooMath and
Thank you to MooMooMath and Science. These are my sources from youtube.com. And for our student activity, state what you have learned in this lesson in 5 to 10 sentences. Submit your output to our Google Classroom in 2 days. Thank you. I hope you can get helpful knowledge from this presentation. Good luck!